We are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, the symptoms of Kali. This is Canto 12, Chapter 2. We had finished till verse 11. So now we are going from 12 to 16. This is a one big verse. So yesterday I had started with the verse, but I will just do a small recap of the verse. By the time the age of Kali ends, the bodies of all creatures will be greatly reduced in size, and the religious principle of followers of Varnashrama will be ruined. The path of the Vedas will be completely forgotten in human society, and the so-called religion will be mostly atheistic. The kings will mostly be thieves. The occupation of men will be stealing, lying, and needless violence. And all the social class will be reduced to the lowest level of Shudras. Cows will be like goats. Spiritual hermitages will be no different from mundane houses. And family ties will extend no further than the immediate bonds of marriage. Most plants and herbs will be tiny. All trees will disappear like dwarf Sami trees. Clouds will be full of lightning. Homes will be devoid of piety. And all human beings will have become like asses. At that time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will appear on the earth. Acting with the power of pure spiritual goodness, He will rescue eternal religion. This is the verse we had read yesterday. And I had started at the beginning. When the Kali-yuga begins, all the bodies of the creatures will be reduced in size, and the religious principles of followers of Varnashrama will be ruined. So when I was telling you that it is not the body that is going to get reduced, it's the kind of the capacity of an individual to do certain things in this world will get reduced. In the olden times, people, men and animals and everything, they could do a lot of stuff, but today because of specialization, man has become very, very specific in nature. He can only do specific tasks. You will find that if you ask a man to wash his clothes, he will just look around for a washing machine. He doesn't know how to scrub, he doesn't know how to wash, he doesn't know how to take out water from a well, from a river also. He requires water on the tap. You look at anything. Earlier we could take cloth piece to a tailor and get it stitched. Now you get ready-made. So you don't need to stitch. You just go to the store and buy a ready-made shirt or a pant, whatever. You will find that because of the way the world is moving, man has started becoming a very, very confined animal as far as his knowledge is concerned. He doesn't have much knowledge and understanding. If you ask someone, what is the capital of Russia? They will ask, where is Russia? Because human beings have actually lost the ability to even arrive at this understanding. The world is becoming connected but disconnected as well. And that is the reason why we say that he is greatly reduced in size. The religious principles of followers of Varnashrama will be ruined. So there are different kinds of hierarchies that were there. That is the Brahmins, the knower of Brahma, the knowledge people who knew God. Second one was the rulers. The third one are the dealers, or basically traders. And the last one is called the Shudra. Basically, they are people who are the working class, the workers. Today you will find that there are maybe, a whole load of workers out there. Rulers are a few. So this way the entire structure has changed. If you look at how in the last few years companies like Amazon and others have taken over the world, so there is no one dealer there. who used to deal in small things. Now there is one huge dealer who is literally supplying to everybody. So think the way the world has changed. And this is the effect of Kali-yuga. The path of the Vedas will be completely forgotten in human society. And the so-called religion will be mostly atheistic. What was the religion that came up after Krishna? Think. The religion that came up after Krishna was Buddhism. Was it not atheistic in nature? It clearly delineated that there is a path greater than God. You don't need to study God, there is no gods as such. You can reach nirvana by becoming a Buddha. So Buddha propagated the path of Buddhism, which is to reach the state of nirvana. And there is no need of any God. So the religions which came up after that were purely atheistic in nature. Some other major religions which came about are Christianity, Islam, and so on and so forth. Many others have also come. Though Christianity spoke about one God, but the followers of Christianity created multiple facets, too many loops within the religion. Then came Islam. Islam also has divisions, the Shias, the Sunnis, and so on and so forth. Currently, at the stage at which what we are, the world is becoming more atheistic in nature. You will find that the youngsters today, the millennials and after that, whatever they are called, these youngsters do not believe in the entity called God at all. According to them, they are supposed to eat, drink, live their life, make money, and grow rich in their life. That's it. Beyond that, they don't have any place to go to. What happened to the images of gods? The images of gods became wall hangings. They became wall hangings. And it's an art, according to them. So you will find that a very beautiful image of, let us say, Durga got created into artistic manner. Now imagine I am represented by a cartoon and the cartoon is talking to you. How will it sound? So you require a human being to converse. Today, the age of robots is there. You speak to a robot and the robot sometimes looks beautiful, of course, but doesn't mean that that is a person. That is still a creature. That's an animal, the kind of a creature which human beings have created. It has no life in it, but yet there is kind of a life in it. So the path of the Vedas will be lost now, completely forgotten by human society. What is the path of the Vedas? The framework on which everything was ruling. What did the path say? The path say that human beings have to live in a particular manner. Do you think they live like that today? No. If you ask people today, do you say prayers? They will ask, oh, what prayers are you talking about? Are those the ones which I have downloaded on my apps? They don't know prayers. They don't know the Vedas. They don't know anything for that matter. The music will be put on and then the prayer happens. It's a very strange phenomenon. So the path of the Vedas is being lost completely. And the so-called religion will be atheistic. So yesterday somebody asked me, If I have to pray to Ganesha, does it mean that I am not praying to Krishna? No, but if you actually go to the way in which Ganesha came into existence, it is Krishna who took birth as Ganesha, by the way. So the avatar of Ganesha is none other than Krishna himself. The avatar of Kali is none other than Krishna himself. So it is something which you need to understand. Those who have studied the Bhagavata Purana will know that Ganesha is Krishna only. But let us come to atheism. Today, the parents, the young parents that are there, they themselves have not been taught about religion by their parents. So how can they teach their children anything about religion, anything about God? Nobody knows anything about God. According to them, God is some creature who is found in some temple or some church, a place of worship. That's it. So, and what is everywhere? We used to, as a kid, I will say God is everywhere. Today, if you ask what is everywhere, so the answer is internet, and Google is everywhere. You can access Google from anywhere in the world. Isn't that what people talk about? So I will first search the Google, for answers. I mean, this is what we have come to. So the answers are non-existent. The kings will be mostly thieves. The occupation of the men will be stealing, lying, and needless violence, and all the social classes will be reduced to the lowest level of Shudras. The king will be mostly thieves. Now, who are the kings? The kings are basically not the king. They are not called His Royal Highness or something like that. They are the rulers of countries. And look at the money and the things that they are hoarding. They have robbed the country to the last penny. I was watching a documentary of a ruler of a country where his palace took more than $1 billion to be built. And that country is literally in ruins today. But this person has literally become a king, by the way. He is ruling the country with an iron hand. So like that, if you see, there are hundreds of countries where the ruler, the person who is ruling the country, is actually a thief. He's taking the money out of the system. He's taking the goods. If you remember Hitler, the way he had conquered the world, even the tooth, the golden tooth, was taken out and melted. If you look at the artworks that were hidden by the Nazis, there are so many examples like this. You think now in today's day and age they are not there? King Raja Shah Pahlavi of Iran was such a person. The amount of money that he had hoarded. The previous king of Philippines, or should I call him king or whatever, I don't know. Then in Libya, Venezuela, you check out the countries across the world, you will find that every country there is a ruler who has ransacked the country. So when it is written over here in this book, which says that the king will mostly be thieves, it proves the statement, isn't it? And the occupation of men will be stealing, lying, and needless violence. Stealing, lying, and needless violence. How many videos do you see where it is needless violence? People are gunned down. There are bombs kept in wrong places so that so many people get hurt. The aeroplanes are banged inside a building. You name it. The kind of a stupid violence that is going around in the world is You can count it, every day maybe hundreds of these kind of things are happening. The current yuga is going to be facing this kind of a wrath. Stealing and lying. Everybody is going to be stealing and lying. What is the meaning of the word stealing and lying? You steal from someone, stealing. You take away from somebody else's. Today, there are in India, for a railway job of say 500 people, there are lakhs of people applying. How many are getting into it? And then there are reservation quotas. So isn't it called stealing from someone else? People fill in false report and say that I have worked so many hours, whereas they have not even worked half of them. They just collect money from the companies. That is lying, absolutely lying. So these are certain examples which can be considered, and the social class will be reduced to the lowest level of Shudra. Everybody is a worker. You may call yourself whatever name you want. You can call yourself Chief Marketing Officer, COO, Chief Operating Officer. You can come up with C, whatever, ABC, XYZ, some kind of a designation. Any designation in the world. But you are still under someone. And that someone is the ruler. That someone is a ruler. Remember that. He may be paying you money. Yet, in my world, I call him a chaprasi. Chaprasi means somebody is called a peon. So everybody is a worker. Even those people who have fancy designations and sit in front of computers doing fancy kind of crunching, There will be people who write the code, who will connect one computer to the other, you name it. Anything and everything is just a clerical job. It is nothing but a job of a worker. And the trend today, which I saw in the last 20 years of my life, is human beings spend more time in meetings and meetings. Oh, I have a call with XYZ. So it's a meeting. Is it face to face? No. I am going on Skype. Wow. The call is there for 1 hour. After I finish the call, then I will take a little rest. You know the reason why? Because that idiot across the Skype, on the other side, he's going to talk nonsense. I know that. When you know he's going to talk nonsense, you are anyway supposed to be on the call. And most of the people, when they are face to face, they will keep their what is closed? Videos are closed. And sometimes the audio is also shut down. You know the reason why audio is shut down? Because they are eating, they are doing something else, and the audio has to be shut down. Otherwise, what happens? That person will get the sound. Today morning when I was sitting in this chair, you heard the sound? It is a chair sound. So you think about it, the sound, if I mute it, the other person won't hear. These people sit on their beds and take calls. They will wear only a top dress, bottom they may not wear anything, and this is how calls are taken. And it's across the board. Sometimes they require a background like this. Can you see this white background? It's a fake background, okay? Why? Because this is a video capture. So can you understand? These are fake backgrounds which people prepare. Just a few days ago, I was seeing how a girl was standing under the umbrella. Umbrella, Rihanna song like that. Okay. She was standing under the umbrella and the raindrops were, falling on the umbrella. And what was it actually? They had put a bottle reversed on top at the center. It was open and it was filled with water, and the girl was just turning the umbrella like this, and the water drops were trickling on the umbrella and falling down. There was no rain there. There was no rain there at all. So this kind of fake photography has come into the picture, which has nothing to do with reality. So now if you think in terms of what exactly is happening to human beings, you see, the media stars, the media artists that are there, come from the lowest level, the strata of the society, where they don't even have the brains. They just look at the script and then they talk. So it is not varnashrama anymore. Everybody is a worker. There are few people whom we cannot call worker because they have money. And we have done a verse where money is extremely important in this material world to, be called somebody in life. So, stealing and lying is very common. Cows will be like goats. Spiritual hermitages will be no different than mundane houses. And family ties will extend no further than immediate bonds of marriage. Cows will be like goats. What do you mean by that? Today, if you look at a cow, earlier the cow was treated like a god. We treated cow like a god because she was giving us everything, from milk to everything that was needed. But today, if you go to a place, you will find that there are rows and rows of cows kept in a place where they are only treated like a production machine. Their teats are, their teats. They put one suction pump over there and the milk is being sucked out. Do you think the cows can give milk every single day? Do you think the chickens can give egg every single day? No. They are fed with different kinds of growth hormones and things which are going to give this kind of an ability, where a chicken can give one egg every day. Wow. And the milk flow will continue with that cow. And after that, she becomes a food for humans. Earlier, goats were treated like that. Now, cows are treated like that. You understood? So, if you say a burger, it is not a chicken burger, by the way, it is something else burger. It's a beef. So beef burgers are, what is that? Hamburger, they call it everywhere in the world. But in some countries like India, they will have chicken in it. Why? Because we don't eat our mother, cow. Holy cow. Hypocrisy to the core. So some places in India, the cows are cut, they are exported, and in some places they are revered like God. But they don't care. Nobody cares. So what is written over here is very true. Cows will be treated like goats. Spiritual hermitages will be no different from mundane houses. So what is a spiritual hermitage? It's a flat. A flat, you understand what a flat is? You think spiritual hermitage can be a flat? A house inside a city? A small house, we call it. One-story building or two-story houses are there. With modern facilities and amenities? No. Hermitage is a hermitage. Hermit. The word at the beginning is hermit. What is a hermit? Somebody who doesn't meet another person. Somebody who is closeted. Is only thinking of God. But what is a hermitage now? Hermitage today is completely different picture. So when he says, spiritual hermitages will be no different than mundane houses, you will find that in a hermitage there should be silence. In hermitages nowadays, even the modern type of hermitages, there are people shouting at each other. The argument with the guru is the greatest thing on planet Earth. The argument and back answering the guru. By the way, a guru is also worthless. He's as good as a nobody. He comes from he comes from a lower class somewhere, has no knowledge about the Vedas or the Shastras or anything like that, cannot converse in anything, and he has become a guru. And his disciples are going to be worse than him, are they not? His disciples have the point of argument. They will say, we don't give a shit to you. What do you mean by we don't give a shit to you? This is the language that is spoken nowadays. And the gurus nowadays are money collectors. They love money. Once they have the money, they build fantastic palaces. Go and see the palaces of all these great gurus of India today. They will make false gods, huge gods. And they will say, this is the greatest god that I have made. Pray to them. I'm sure you have seen movies like, the Moses, the picture about Moses. The Egyptians also made big gods, you see. The Egyptians also made big gods and everybody bowed down to their gods. And the other kind of people, those who are the false prophets, they also make big gods and everybody bowed down to them. So all these great gurus of this world, they create big infrastructures and churches and temples and stuff like that. So Kali-yuga will be full of that. Family ties will extend no further than the immediate bonds of marriage. What is marriage all about? The moment a man is married to a woman, by the way, I should not even say these words, because it is no longer a man-woman marriage. It could be a man-man, a woman-woman, a man-woman, multiple women, one man, multiple men and one woman. The whole marriage institution has gone to ruins. And how many marriages? Marriages are like a piece of paper. You sign it, tear it, throw it away, get into another. This is called marriage. And then what happens? Why does this line come over here? The immediate bond of marriage. So the person that you are married to becomes your immediate relative. The rest of the people can take a hike. So the parents who had given birth are no longer valid in this world. Your cousins, your brothers, your relatives are only meant for occasions. When there is a marriage or some such kind of a big activity happening in the family, that is the time you go and visit everyone. Hello sir, how are you? Nice meeting you. We met 20 years ago, when you were a kid. Okay. So now nobody cares for people. They are more focused in their own world. They want to grow in their careers. Their wives and they themselves might want to grow in their careers. They want to make a house. They want to settle down. They want to have a lot of money. They want to have retirement benefits. And after that, throw the money away on useless stuff. Countries like China and Southeast Asia and all, people hardly cook at home. No cooking. Nobody does cooking. Even in India today, hardly anybody cooks. I'm appalled at the way people don't even know how to fry an onion. People really don't know how to fry an onion. Forget frying an onion, they don't know how to make a cup of tea. They don't know where tea comes from also. And what is a tea? Take a hot water, dip one bag in it, and that is called tea. So the idea of drinks also has become like that. You open a sachet or take a Tetra Pak, pierce it and drink it. That is called a fruit juice. This is the current status of the world. Nobody knows. The fruits are also concocted. There is the fruits by themselves are also very strange. So the world today, outside of the greatest sandwich chain in the world, is written fresh sandwiches. Okay, it is written there, fresh sandwiches. Ask them one question. When did you cut this onion, this pepper, and these other things? Oh, that was cut long back in the morning, and it is late in the evening just now. Oh, how do you call it fresh then? What is the meaning of the word fresh ingredients? They better be fresh. The parts of meat that they are putting inside is also hundreds of days old. The milk is also not fresh, by the way. The Tetra packs which you buy have 6 months shelf life. Do you think it was, say, the manufacturing date is given? You think that manufactured on that day? That means there was some cow, who was giving the milk and they got manufactured. Is that how milk is? No, I'm sorry, you are mistaken. So this is how everything has become. So in marriage, as long as there is sex in the marriage is successful. I mean, it should be better, good sex, okay? Not bad sex. Is that the only reason why marriage is there? People think, in olden times it was mentioned in the scriptures. By the way, it is mentioned in the scriptures, and Sai Baba also says, once you have children, then you live like brother and sister. Okay? But people in 60s, 70s and 80s still want to have sex. You have 2 children or 1 child, which is more than enough. What is the need for having sex all the time? See, the sexual activity is made even in birds and animals. Have you seen? Only when they are on heat or whatever that the sexual activity happens. Otherwise, they are least bothered. Even lions and tigers will not run after you even if you are standing there if they are not hungry. To satisfy their hunger, they will do it. Otherwise, not. But human beings, they have created tablets which will do something to them. And they want to have sex even at a very, very old age. For what reason is that? Why is it important? So the bond of marriage only remains till you are getting sexual satisfaction. After that, it is bye-bye, see you. Then I have to fulfill my desire somewhere else. So this is what immediate bond of marriage is. Most plants and herbs will be tiny. You will ask me, where are the trees and the herbs and all tiny? Have you seen the kind of, container ships, the containers that are there in which they are now producing those small, small tiny plants? Huh? That aquaponics or whatever, hydroponics and this and that. What? There is no soil also. There is only water and they are fed something in that water, and then the trees, that small plants are grown, they come to a certain height, then they are cut and sold in the market. Don't you think these words are true now? I'm not talking about bonsai. Bonsai is an art which the Japanese came up with. That's a different story. I can't have a big tree, a big oak tree in my house, so I will have a small oak tree in my house. And everybody says, this is the oak tree in my house. A miniature garden in the house. That is called bonsai. House plants have also become like that. So if you look at how this world is actually progressing, the trees and the herbs and the plants, they will become small. Why do you need the trees, by the way? For the birds to be there, for pollination, for fruits, for flowers and everything, isn't it? Nowadays you don't need that. They have closed houses like this, closed. And inside that, artificial light, artificial food, artificial everything. The roses are grown this big. All the flowers are grown inside. Aviaries. Apiary, they call it, I think. Where the bees are kept in slots. Okay? And everything is artificial. So this is what they mean. Clouds will be full of lightning, homes will be devoid of piety. Clouds will be full of lightning. Cloud seeding and all happens nowadays. I'm sure you know. Silver iodide is sprayed on the clouds so that the clouds will give rain. So if you want to, deprive your neighboring country of rain, what you do is when the clouds are blowing over you, you seed them with, silver sulfide or silver iodide, it's called. Silver iodide. And then the rain falls in your country, the other country goes without rain. Well, these are the latest techniques. Or poison their water. Don't give them water. Block the water. Build huge dams over here, wherever, whichever country, so that the other country doesn't get water at all. Now you are talking about countries. Here we can talk about the states also. The meanness is flowing, in the blood. Homes will be devoid of piety. Do I need to tell you this? Look at your children. Those who have children, please look at them. Do they know anything about God? Not a single word. What is God all about? I have done my engineering. I don't give a shit. Oh, God is that? I don't give a shit. Is that what God is being reduced to? Why? If I have to sit above and think about God, then I have to become an old man. Only old people come into spirituality according to the world. But that is not the truth. Spirituality is just like any other subject which people are treating it like. And the greatest of the universities are giving degrees in spirituality. I don't know how spirituality can be given in the form of a degree. Just imagine Jesus Christ is the vice chancellor of a university. I mean, doesn't it sound stupid to your ears? Or Buddha is sitting in a big chair, he's got computers lined up over there, and then he is getting a petition. Sir, this person is not paid that $1 million. How can we give him a degree? Oh, you get $1 million, then you can get a degree. This is what has become of all the big institutions. People go and buy seats over there. And their children who are completely, less in their brains, they become great people. MBAs from big universities. No brains. Brainless MBAs. And we have treated our children exactly like that. We don't teach our children about God. Because according to us, the government says you cannot force the child to learn about God. In some of the schools, they have even removed the cross. I went to a Christian school, by the way. And there was a church next to it. Okay. And there was always one cross. And every morning we said prayers. Every afternoon we again said prayers. And the evening also. So prayers were very constant. I know more about Jesus than I know about my Hindu God. Because I never had religion as a subject. You see, we had two subjects. One was, that Catholicism, okay. And the second one was called moral science. And in moral science, there was no Ganesha, Saraswati, Lakshmi. There was nothing like that. Nothing. We were supposed to praise the God. and praise the country and praise my father. My father means who? The principal of the school was called the father, and the mother superior. I had a mother superior, we had a father, we had mothers, we had, I don't know, sisters. Our real mother, sisters and all were no concern anywhere in the world. Oh, we went to English school, English. Because why? If you don't learn English, you cannot become anybody in this world. And you should go to a convent. That is very important. So the hodgepodge knowledge about God was something which we have all grown up in. There is no knowledge, there is no understanding. Who is Lakshmi, who is Saraswati, nobody knows. And religion was treated more like, अरे तूने बिरयानी बनाया क्या? Oh, if you get biryani to school, that means there is an Eid, and yeah, then everybody eats it. But otherwise, they are not your friends. You get to eat, then they become friends. So this is a kind of nonsense we have grown up in. So where was piety over there? Piety was, very, very completely different kind of a creature altogether. And who were our leaders? The presidents and the prime ministers of the country were our leaders. Some people put their children in religious schools. I don't know whether you know about that. And what do they teach in the religious schools? Knowledge which will make them make money in life. They will be able to recite prayers and make money out of it. That is the only reason why they go and join this kind of schools. There is no true religiosity or spirituality left. So this is where we are heading. And all human beings will have become like asses. See, very important line. All human beings, by the way, Sukhdev is not saying exceptions over here. All human beings will have become like asses. So you and me are all asses, by the way. We are all asses. Now this is not the ass that we are talking about. Okay, this means a donkey. All right. So let me clarify. We are talking about a donkey, not your hump, your rump, whatever you call it, not your behind. Okay. We have all turned asses because we are literally like donkeys. We have nothing in our brains. Nothing. Even the greatest of the person is like an ass. He is not made an exception in this verse. Do you see that? There are no exceptions. All men, all human beings, even no men, women also. Okay, and in between also. Everybody is an ass. At that time, the Supreme Personality will appear on earth, acting with the power of pure spiritual goodness. He will rescue eternal religion. So the Divine Lord, when he sees this deterioration happening, he will have to appear on this planet Earth. And what is he going to do? He has to rescue the religion. How many people will be left behind? Don't ask. Do you remember what Noah did? Do you know Noah? Do you know what Noah did? He took only two of the species, one male and one female. Bas. So tomorrow if I have to have a Noah, what is he going to do? Do you want to apply just now for that role? One male and one female? So when the Lord appears on this earth, the religion is completely destroyed. There is going to be nothing left. Only the DNA of somebody will be left. And the DNA means something in which he can create the future world. And he will definitely do something about that DNA also. Maybe try to make it very better. Today we are working on the DNA. Okay, and those who want blue eyes, those who want black eyes, whatever, they can even order those kind of eyes, isn't it? So now we are doing verse 17. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master of the moving and the non-moving living beings, and the Supreme Soul of all, takes birth to protect the principles of religion and to relieve his saintly devotees from the reaction of material world. So here, Lord Vishnu, Krishna himself will again take birth. And what is he going to do? He is going to take care of his devotees. So please remember one thing. If you are a devotee, you are qualified. If you are not a devotee, I don't know what is going to happen. So it's not a threat. Please, people think that this is called a threat. There is no threat. If the world is going to the dogs, is literally becoming asses, and there are very few devotees remaining in this world. In all this, what is he talking about? He's telling you, can you be a devotee? Can you be a devotee? Can you be a devotee? Can you be? Continuously, that is the refrain. He's not saying anything else. He's just saying, can you be a good devotee to me? Then I will be able to save you. But if you are become a donkey just like all the other people in this world, then how can I save you? So, he takes birth to protect the principles of religion. So, he is going to take birth so that he can protect the religion. Lord Kalki will appear in the home of a most eminent Brahmana of Shambhala village, the great soul Vishnu Yasa. So, Kalki is the last incarnation of the Lord, where he is born to a very pious Brahmin. Naturally, that means he will be born to a devotee of the Divine Lord. So, this is the avatar that takes birth. And this avatar is called the last avatar. Those who have read the Bible also will see that the last, is also there. It is there even in all the books, by the way. The last avatar is always mentioned for us to understand. And this last avatar is extremely important for us to know. So I am going to stop over here today because we will introduce the avatar the next time. All right. So we have just said that the world is completely in a God-forsaken condition. Everything has gone to the ashes. The world is on the path towards ruination. So the avatar of Vishnu, called Lord Kalki, has to come into the picture. And this we are talking about the future of tomorrow, that is our tomorrow, which is Kali-yuga. So I will stop over here and I will see you all in the coming week. You take care. Have a very good day.